Hello, I'm so glad you dropped by. My name is Lynda Phippen. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. I know this is an extremely busy week, the week before Christmas, 5 more sleeps, and it will be here. So all of our running around, if it's not done, it just won't need to be done. So let's just take a few moments to enjoy some creativity. That always gets us motivated. So let's just get started. This is our new mini catalog called the JJ 2022, January to June. Has some very exciting products in it. You probably have your catalog in hand already. The stamp set that we're going to work with today is right in the center of the catalog on page 47, and it is called Grassy Grove, and it has lots of potential, lots of fun. And the first card I'm going to do is the sample that is in the catalog, except I didn't use this really pretty paper that they have used. This one here, but instead I am using this one. So either one, as you can see, would look very nice, and it does go with a different set that's called New Horizon, but this is the one we're going to go with today, and on page 47 is in your new catalog. So this is what the stamp set looks like. Grassy Grove is the stamp set itself, and I'm using the special moments for the sentiments today for both cards. And I just wanted you to see the samples of the dies and the stamps that go together, and it's very simple card, this first one, because this is the die that cuts out our background. And then we have leaves, we have grasses, trees, and a few deer. So that's what we will be using today. And this is what our first card looks like, with our die all ready to go. So when you are using the designer series paper, because there's lots of design on it, you want to take your background and find the place that you want. So there's lots of choices. You can have it a little bit darker, or you could have it a little bit lighter. The choice is yours. So I cut from, I guess, the bottom, and that is the piece that I'm going to be using today. So it's all the descriptions for the sizes will be under the descriptions, and the sizes, so that you can make your own card. So the first thing I did after I cut my die cut and I cut the size of my paper is just get some glue on there. Just dab it all over. And then line it up. And I found when I used the darker part, I just wanted to try a little bit lighter to see if it would show up a little bit more, like more of a daylight instead of night. And then I used my little deer and cut those also out in black. Now in the catalog they used some trees, But I just wanted to have this just black and with the blue background. And there are the deer. So I think the little one shows up a little bit better with the white behind it. And then I put Thinking of You. Now you notice that so far there's no stamping, but I did the stamping on the inside. So Thinking of You, I put on the top, then glued it to the inside of, or the outside, not the inside, the outside of my card base, which is basic white. Now, what I did for the inside, I did Happy Birthday, and I put I used the tree stamp, and I gave the feeling, and I think you've seen these before, where it looks like you're lying on the ground and you're looking up through all of these trees. So that's what I did for the inside, which I thought was kind of fun to do. So, as I put my finger in my glue, in my stamp, so you can just use the treetops, and you can do your double stamping. So you get light and dark. So I used the dark in the corners, and I forgot to double stamp on that last one, which is okay, because you can always do your double stamping on your scrap piece of paper like this to fill in. And I wanted to see the second generation stamping gives it a little dimension as well. And that is how I did the first inside of the card. So I used a black piece of black paper for the inside of the card, glued it on, and then glued it on the inside. So that is card number 1. Except I also put some rhinestones on this one to give the feeling of stars. So let's just put those on as well. And one more, we'll just put a tiny one on the sentiment. So Thinking of You, and on the inside, Happy Birthday. So that is card number 1. Pretty quick, pretty easy. So I hope you enjoyed that one. And our second card is You Are Amazing. And with just a little stamping on the inside. Again, you could put very easily Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, any of those sentiments could work. Now, I'm using the cotton paper, which is Evergreen, and I did the same thing as I did on a previous video, and I really like the way that it turned out. So get all my pieces here. Okay, so this is Evening Evergreen, and the first step that I did was I took the cotton paper and I crunched it up, and it almost looks like it has gone through an embossing folder. So it's scrunched right up. It's the same size as the front of the card, which is 4 1/4 by 5. Then you just put some glue on it, and there you have a textured front. So just put that on so that it can dry. Does not look like it went through an embossing folder. It sure does. Okay, then I did a technique that I learned a long time ago, and I did have to practice it, and I'm doing it with the deer. So if you try this, which gives the mirror image of your deer. So this is the stamp that we use, and then to get the same exact stamp, I'll show you what I do. So I have a couple of samples, extra paper in case I make a mistake, which we don't like to admit we make mistakes. Okay, so there's the first deer. Now this here is just a piece of silicone. There it is. It comes in many colors and it's soft. Now you want to not put a lot of ink on, and you don't want to linger when you're stamping because the ink seems to pool a little bit. So I'm going to do it quickly. Then you take it, there's the image, and you flip it upside down, put it on your paper, just like you would a stamp. And there is a mirror image of what we just did. So now we have 2 deer instead of just 1. So very simple, very easy to do. It did take a little practice, but that's okay, just to get the feel for it. So the colors that I'm using are, the rest of the colors are all green. I'm using Garden Green, Evening Evergreen, and Soft Succulent for the greenery that goes around the card. And when I go to do the grass, I'll do the inside of the card as well. So let's just put there. Okay, this stamp is a lot of, it almost looks like rocks, but it really stamps nicely. And because it's a bigger stamp, sometimes if you turn it over and put your stamp onto the stamp, or the stamp pad onto the stamp, it covers nicely. So not to worry about if you cover the feet of your deer, because we do have a little bit of grass that we can use to cover that. Now I'm going to use the grasses. So I shut every green that I used so that I wouldn't use it again. Now this one is going to go on the inside. And you can just fill that in. Let me just get a few more pieces of the grass on there. There we go. So that's going to be the inside of the card. And I think we're pretty good in terms of covering the feet of the deer. So that is the grass. And then I took a little bit of garden green, and I used the tree stamp and just kind of gave the feeling of a forest. And you could even put some greenery around the top. So that is the front of the card. And then just glue it right on top of this cotton paper. I put it onto a bit of an angle. And then there are greenery pieces that I die cut from this set, and just place them on the corners. So they're cut in soft succulent and evergreen, evening evergreen. And these ones that have the extra color was a piece of scrap paper that I used, that I just had lots of trees on. I was practicing, and I decided to cut them out so they weren't a solid. And they look pretty good. Because we know that greenery has so many variations of color in them. So you can put as many as you wish around. And then I have the sentiment that says, just a card to say that you are amazing. And again, on the inside, you could put happy birthday. And I did it in I want to say crumb cake. The sentiment, just to give it something a little different. And then the rhinestones that I used for this are the holiday rhinestones, because there are some lovely green ones in there. And I put them on the greenery itself. And then two on the sentiment. So that is card number 2, the second card. So give this a try. it's really a nice way of extending your stamps, and you can do it with just any stamp at all. And I just got the silicone sheets off of Amazon, so that worked out well, and you just wipe it off and we're good to go. So there are the 2 cards that we did today. So I hope you enjoyed them, and thank you for your subscriptions and your kind comments, and let me know how your cards turned out. So have a great week, Merry Christmas, and I will see you next week. So bye for now.